Wilson Field is the venue where today's matchup will be hosted. It'll be the Michigan State Spartans facing off against the Chapman Panthers. And for Michigan, well, departed from East Lansing, coming to face off the Chapman Panthers. A lot of work to do with Michigan playing in the heat, something they're not used to. But for the Panthers, big overtime winner last time out. Let's see if they can replicate that in this game. Alongside Mahal Domingo Anderson, my partner in crime, I'm Lucas Patton. Lisa Pressler down there on the sideline. We'll get to her in just a sec, but Mahal, let's talk. Because obviously Chapman, in the last few games or so, they've scored a lot of goals, but how can they hold on to that lead and not give up any sloppy defense?
Yeah, they've been a first quarter punching Panthers team so far this year. They've gotten out to early leads. They've gone into half with leads in every game, but they come out of halftime really cold, and they haven't been the same team in the second half, which led them to lose to TCU just over a week ago. So how can they maintain what they do in the first half and play their game in the second half is going to be the question all game long. Yeah, well, obviously, for the Chapman Panthers, they'll be coming in with some momentum away from home at Cal Poly. Overtime thriller similar to last year's matchup when both teams confronted each other. It was Cal Poly who won that time. But for now, Michigan State and the Spartans will come to fight as they do. Team comparison, as you see here, the big one here, obviously, is ground balls. Obviously, the stats, apart from goals, were coming into this week, so we don't have the numbers from the Cal Poly game, but still the Chapman Panthers seems to be dominant on the ground ball game. Yeah, they've been dominant on the ground ball game. It's led them to just be able to have the ball as much as they possibly can offensively and be able to play their game, get their game going, get their offense going, and do exactly what they want to do. For Michigan State, you got to make the Panthers uncomfortable, and that's going to start with ground balls today. Yeah, well, for Michigan State, playing away from home, and they'll need to rely a lot on this man right here. Their number one, Mason Razanka, the senior attackman. When you think of ideal attackman partner, Razanka answers all of those questions. As dangerous as anyone is, Razanka has 10 goals so far this season. That's a third of the goals for the Spartans. So he is as dangerous as anyone in the entire country, and he's a very dangerous attackman that is going to be problematic very potentially for the Panthers today. So don't let him get into the space if you're the Panthers defenders, and make sure you have eyes in the back of your head so that you know where this guy is at all times. Yeah, well, Razanka, obviously he's been tremendous. He's been this team's thunder, but Michigan State's lightning has been VJ Foster right there. 33, the 6'2" senior from Upper Dublin, Pennsylvania. You take a look at a team like Michigan State, and you look, who are the providers? Who are the guys that can get goal scorers going? VJ Foster leading in the UMLC for assists with 9, 5 goals as well to his name. Yeah, he led the team last year with 20 assists and already has nearly half of that. So this is a very dangerous guy that's going to be a playmaker, that's going to be dangerous. If he can get the ball to Razanka, that's going to be the 1-2 punch that the Spartans want all day. When he has space and time to survey the field, look where his teammates are, look where the opponents are, that's when he is at his most dangerous. So the Panthers got to put pressure on him at all times. Two seniors, both from Michigan, as we move over the Chapman Panthers side. And the young buck coming up for the Panthers is Tate Wardell, the 5'9" freshman from Los Angeles. When you think of the ideal midfielder, you think of shiftiness, you think of distribution, and Wardell answers and checks all those boxes. Sometimes you just got to be able to make your own space, and that's what Tate Wardell is so good at. You talk about the shiftiness. This guy is able to create time, create opportunity. Those 4 goals, 2 assists as a freshman has already shown just how dangerous he is attacking-wise, and he will continue to look to do that, feed his teammates, get opportunities, and when he gets a shot, he's going to nail it. Well, you have the speed for the Panthers with Wardell, and here comes the muscle for the Panthers. You take a look at Brody Champion, right? The attacking player from Ladera Ranch, only a sophomore as well, as you see there. You think of ideal cars, Mercedes, Cadillac, Porsches. This kid has all of that and more as we take a look at the stats. 5 goals for him, 3 assists, 8 points, but that doesn't give the justice of how truly valuable this player is. Yeah, he lines up on the right wing most of the time for this Panthers team, and when he has a shot, he is very, very dangerous. You saw that at his very finest against TCU just over a week ago, had 4 goals in that game. So when he gets the space, when he gets the time, when he gets the opportunity to rip his shot and have what he wants to do on that right wing, he is as dangerous as anyone is on this Panthers team and will punish opponents when he gets that opportunity. So look to see what he can do on the right wing today for the Panthers. And for the Chapman Panthers, obviously they've had a very quick start to this season.
Last game out against Cal Poly, they won in overtime. Now, how can they replicate the composure that they had in that game away from home 2 days ago, partner?
Yeah, you look at what they did 2 days ago, and there was an OT win, and they were able to keep the game close really all game. That was the closest game they've played, especially at halftime. So how can they maintain really what they've been able to do all season and get out to early leads? They're up 5-2 after the first quarter in that game, but you look at what happened at halftime, it was 7-6.
The Spartans and the Panthers coming up here on CSPN. We'll be right back after this short national anthem.
Everybody please rise for the national anthem.
Both teams, Michigan and Chapman, eager to get this game underway. And down there with a sideline hit is our very own Lisa Pressler. Lisa?
Thank you, Lucas and Mahal. Both these teams haven't played each other since 2019, so it's been a long time. Chapman is coming off a close 11-10 win over Cal Poly this past Friday and will be looking to carry that momentum into today's game. Michigan State is here on their spring break and are playing 3 games in 3 days, with Chapman being their first stop in Southern California. Looking forward to an exciting game. Sending it back to you in the booth.
Thank you so much, Lisa, for that hit of information. And for Michigan State, Connor Konis at the helm, the head coach in his second season, graduated from the Spartan School in 2017. Since then, he stuck around, help his alma mater coach.
Yeah, he took over last year as head coach, went 7-7, but went 3-0 in conference. So this is a guy that had a solid first season, is going to look to build on it. So far, 2-1 has been very solid. He'll look to get a big upset win, though, here in Orange to get to 3-1.
Yeah, well, Michigan State, they'll look to upset the Panthers, and Joel Callis, there he is, the 4th season man. Last year, it was a bit of an uphill battle for him. You could say a developmental era, but this season so far, a 3-1 start, and they look to be right on track to their winning ways.
Yeah, they absolutely absolutely do. You talked about last year sort of being like a rebuild, reset year. They went 5-8 last year, so they're looking to build on that, looking to get better, back to where they really expect to be. And the way that they've played so far, ranked 13th in the country now, this is exactly where they want to be, and they want to keep on the up and up, and that starts today.
Yeah, well, Joe Callis and this Chapman side are getting set to get this game underway. Will go down for the beautiful ballet, which the face-off is. Eric Torrey, the freshman, in charge of the face-off for the Panthers. Facing off against Michigan State's very own Lorenzo Ruma. Ball is tipped around, but the Panthers will be able to recover with Torrey on the move. Push in the back and a quick foul already played. So one of the things that might stand out in this game, partner, is the physicality that Michigan State brings.
Yeah, you talk about the physicality. The Panthers are a physical team. Everyone's a physical team, but Michigan State going to look to use the physical battle to their advantage to be able to come out on this one.
Well, Orsino getting tripped up a bit, but he's able to recover. That'll be Walker, the goal scorer from that overtime win against Cal Poly. Reginelli, quick shot and an easy save starting off for Ryan Hathaway. Goalie in net for the Spartans now. Ryan Hathaway, I mean, he leads with saves per game, and then he's second in goals against average with around 10.3 per game. And here's the quick break at the forefront with Michigan. It's Connolly with the shot. Ryan Sugart's there to prevent it, so Sugart as well. Two sides with two great goalkeepers, partner.
Yeah, absolutely. You've seen them both showcase their first save, and sometimes that first save just so key in a game, Lucas. You get that first one off the schneid, and now you feel comfortable, now you feel confident, and you're back into this game ready to rock and roll.
Here's Chapman just steadily constructing their offense. Obviously, the Panthers, they've been a first half team, you could call them. Usually going into the half, they have the lead by maybe 2 or 3 goals, but it's that third and fourth period where they typically lack energy. We'll see what they can do here at the forefront with Wardell. Wardell, high-low shot, quick save, the second of the day for Hathaway, and he's been great so far. Obviously, it's still early stages of the game, but 2 shots and 2 saves for the goalie.
Yeah, absolutely, and outside of a really outlier pit game for him where he struggled a little bit, he's been very good. Gave up 16 goals in that one, only had 10 saves, but outside of that has been really unstoppable for this Michigan State Spartans team.
Here's Ferguson, plays it inside to his teammate, VJ Foster. We talked about him earlier. Ball will go out in favor of Michigan State. So for the goalie, Ryan Sugart and company, you don't want to give those shots to a player like Foster, do you?
No, you absolutely don't. And I think that is the type of shot that if you're going to give them shots, you feel better about that one because there is pressure in front of him. It's not really an open shot. It's an uncomfortable one, trying to make him sort of bounce shot it. But if you're the Panthers, trying to avoid as many shots as possible, even with as good of a goalkeeper as you have in Sugar.
Some great footwork from Luke Sewell right there. Typically a D-midi. He'll come off as the Panthers rotate their offense on. And Holden Walker's got it.
Just look to see the Panthers really be patient, set up their offense. This has been something that they've really loved to do in every game so far, but in the first quarter, you really see them do it a lot.
Here comes Ursino. Steps it back, high-low shot, and just off the cage, it'll go out in favor of Michigan. 3 saves for Hathaway already, and Ursino not able to break the seal in this game, partner.
Yeah, the Panthers just haven't really gotten into the position with a shot that you necessarily want to have that top echelon of a shot. They've had a few shots, like you said, and they've really given easy saves all the way around so far for Hathaway.
Here comes the quick break from Michigan. Foster to the X now. It's Traub. All the way back out, it's Andrew Connolly. 3 goals for 43. He's only had 4 shots, so 75% on shooting. He's been excellent so far for the Spartans. Here's Razanka now, their key player. At the 10, Hanamoto defending. Back to Connolly. It'll be VJ Foster. Cuts it inside, spins to the out. Foster, high-low shot, and the first one of the game will go to the Spartans.
VJ Foster with a really nice shot, that one. Just getting that to the outside corner, getting it to get into the bottom sort of 90 of the goal. Panthers not happy with that one. You never want to go behind early. They did go behind 2 goals to Cal Poly early, and they were able to bounce back, so we'll see how they do that.
Take a look at that shot, partner. Just outside the outstretched legs of Ryan Sugart. And then VJ Foster, excellently done. That's what he does, his 6th goal of the season and only his 4th game. He's been a force to reckon with so far. He's proving his worth away from home here in the sunlight of Southern California. In a quick break, here comes Torrey. Shot from Cutler. Whatever you can do, I can do too, said Jack Cutler. 5th of the season for him. And the brand new flashy player for Chapman shows his value, ties it all up at 1.
Yeah, Torrey wins the faceoff, cuts it through the defensive team, cuts it right to Cutler, who slices that one into the top bins and finishes it off, and the Panthers just punch right back into this game.
We'll take a look at it here again. Cutler just absolutely finessing that one past the outstretched arms of Ryan Hathaway. And look at that, the arm pump from Jack Cutler. You love to see that. So a quick break. We haven't seen too many plays like that from these Panthers where they get the ball quickly on the Fogo and then they attack immediately. Usually they like to build it up a little bit more, but some hero ball action on that one from the Panthers, and now they got to defend against Michigan.
And you like them being able to do that, make it a little bit more difficult for Michigan State to expect something from this Panthers team. You get a quick attack, you get a quick goal, and you punch right back into this game.
And here comes Foster, the goal scorer already for Michigan. Here's Traub. Back out, it's Savage. So some great rotational play from Michigan, just trying to open up the gaps of the Panthers. It'll be Razanka. Here it is, Jay Kaffa. Razanka flips it all the way to the far side. Now it'll be Foster. Foster lining up Tyler Pandis. VJ Foster lays it to his teammate, spins inside, it's Ferguson, back to Foster. Just miscued pass from VJ Foster on that one. Turnover in favor of the Panthers, and well, it's not often you see a player like Foster make a mistake like that.
Absolutely not, but if he's making mistakes like that, you gotta imagine the Panthers defense is very happy with what they've done. Foster and Razanka have accumulated half of the goals so far this season, now half with the 1 goal for Foster today, now over half of the goals this season for Michigan State. So the Panthers, how do you get those two uncomfortable? And if they're not able to contribute, where does the punching come from?
Well, probably Jack Cutler, already his name on the score sheet. And like you mentioned, it just cuts his way in everywhere. I'm sure as the game continues, they'll look to find Brody Champion. For now, it'll be Tate Wardell on the ball, the all-star freshman for these Panthers. Here's Ben Carvalho.
You can see the Panthers are sort of spreading out this defense as much as possible, trying to open up as many spaces through the middle of the field.
From the X. Checks inside, lays it off to his teammate Wardell. Wardell, the lefty, hanging on to it. Has Cutler behind him, elects to find the X with Carvalho. Carvalho inside. Eric Torrey, who's in there. Bit of a mix-up, and here comes the quick break from the Spartans. It's VJ Foster, his teammate, and Anthony Bartoni. Ball just bouncing around in there, a double team against Chapman's very own Rocco Reginelli. Ball will go down, no flag thrown, so we talked about Michigan's physicality, and there it is on display as they get the ball back.
Yeah, a couple big physical hits that time, doing exactly what they want to be able to do, getting Chapman off their game.
Here comes Jimmy Cleveland, the LSM on the attack. He's in the X. Has Tyler Pandis in front. Stoppage will be made, and timeout in a right moment to call it as well. You could feel the Spartans just applying the pressure as Michigan State takes a timeout.
Yeah, and they're just going to try and, I think, set up an offensive play here, get exactly what they want to do. 1-1, basically 0-0 in this game as those 2 goals came really back-to-back plays. So Michigan State just going to try and draw something up, get their guys going. And you imagine that either Foster or Razanka is going to be on the end of this one because those two have been so key all season for the Spartans.
Well, Mahal, obviously, you did a bunch of homework before this game to figure out how it's going to go. What are some of your keys to the game?
Yeah, I look for Michigan State. How do you avoid the Panthers sort of punching you in the mouth in the first quarter? And they've already done a pretty good job here with 8:44 to go in the first quarter. They are doing exactly what they really need to do. 13 of their 30 goals have come in the second half, and they haven't scored more than 3 goals in the first quarter of a game, whereas the Panthers, they have led 18-7 overall so far in the first quarter this year. They're up 5-1 against Cal, 4-2 against Northeastern, 4-2 against TCU, and 5-2 against Cal Poly. For Michigan State, if you get through the first quarter unscathed and in a comfortable lead, potentially even just a small deficit, I think you are very comfortable. Whereas for the Panthers, how do you come out of the second half happy? How do you get going in the third quarter? Because you've only had 5 goals in that quarter so far this season, and you've given up 12.
Well, for Michigan, they'll be running with some confidence. Last time out, played at home against the Buffalo Bulls. Not the Bills to be confused with, but the Bulls, 13-7. We'll take a look at it here again on the replay. Shugart just not able to get there. Foster had the better of him, but then immediately Cutler came down and responded with a goal of his own. And so far, both teams have been absolutely going at it as we get back underway with Michigan. Shugart caught out of the net, and a quick break from Mason Rozanka to be expected, his 11th goal of the season. And maybe some miscommunication from the Chapman defense. We'll take a look at it again.
Yeah, you see the whole team kind of come together there after the goal. Not sure what exactly happened there, but talk about drawing up a play for Rozanka. He draws one up himself.
So everyone just appearing to be out of position, and well, if there's someone who has enough experience to be able to pick out those fine moments, it's going to be Mason Rozanka coming into this game. 72 goals and just caught Ryan Shugart out of position. As here comes the face-off again, both teams electing to get it going quickly. Obviously, this is how the goal for Chapman was created, but this time, Torrey just flicks it in the air and it'll go Michigan's way. But recovered quickly from the Panthers. It's a bit of a scrum down there.
Both teams really just stick-checking each other, trying to get possession of this ball.
And somehow Michigan still has it. Here comes Ruma, the Fogo, who's still out there on the field for the Spartans. However, they'll slow it down at the hands of Drew Cortese. The junior attack from Irvington, New York. So far for Drew, goal and 4 assists. So he's also one of the providers for this Michigan State side.
Yeah, they have multiple guys that are able to contribute, able to be those guys, and they have the big names in Foster and Rozanka that really have just been the key contributors all season. But if they can get guys not named Rozanka, not named Foster involved, they're going to feel great.
Ball played back out. This time it's Thomas Savage. Inside to Foster. Couldn't get the pass, and the Panthers will recover with a spin and a turn. Here comes the quick break. And at the forefront of it, it's going to be Russell Wilkinson. Panthers will elect to just slow it down. So if you're the Panthers, how do you kill off this Spartan momentum, partner? Because in all honesty, Michigan State's been running all over them in the last few moments.
Yeah, absolutely right. And it's an unexpected sort of run all over them. That doesn't happen to the Panthers often in the first quarter. You slow it down here. I think that's the right play. Sort of get exactly what you want to do, get your offense rolling. That's the right play.
Some extra physicality. Orsino, one of the few only All-Americans on this team. Last year, he was All-American SSD Midi. However, now he transitioned over to the offensive side. Jordan Walker, here comes the flag. Some extra physicality. The Panthers won't mind it, though. Here's Champion. Brody Champion, a spin on inside, but Michigan State defend well. Here's Orsino. To the far side, it's Rocco Reginelli. 2 goals on the year for him. Back out to Orsino. Sliced that one, but an incredible save from Hathaway.
Yeah, and you look at the Panthers team, they're getting just a lot of physical battles from Michigan State so far.
So after the flag, it'll be Chapman who'll have an opportunity to just play them on a power play. We'll see who goes to the penalty box. It appears to be, in this instance, Anthony Bartone, the best D-Midi that they have last year. He was first team All-UMLC East SSDM, and well, the year before that, second team All-UMLC East SSDM. So if there's a player who can make a difference on this team, it's going to be Bartone, but a little bit too many extracurriculars early on in the game, and Chapman will have a power play coming up.
That they will. They're just going to try and set it up, get something going here offensively, find some space. They'll be patient, looking to punish.
So a little bit under 6 minutes remaining in this first period of action, and currently as it stands, Michigan with a slim lead as the shot's taken around Hathaway, no good. So Jack Cutler on the shot, couldn't make that one count. One of the star players on offense at least, but so far Ryan Hathaway, the goalie for Michigan State's been absolutely excellent to prevent Jack Cutler.
Yeah, already 3 saves on the game for him, so he's having a good start to the game. Panthers haven't had the ball all that much, haven't had offensive possession. Here's an opportunity, though, for them.
Here's Cutler. Has Roselli inside, lobs it up to Champion, but defended excellently at the hands of Robert Lennon, and just slowly rolls its ways into the hands of Ryan Hathaway, who'll distribute. So here comes the quick break for Michigan. A lot of green grass in front of them. They play to the Razanka. Beautiful! A brace for Mason Razanka. And that's to be expected from the 4-year senior.
Box at 10 yards of open space that time for Razanka, and if you give him that space, he's gonna make you pay, and he punishes the Panthers for giving him a bunch of space.
Look at this shot, partner. Absolutely perfectly nestled that ball into the far side corner. Mason Razanka, a quick salute, and they're up by 2.
You can see why he now has 12 goals on the season, because when he gets that shot, he is going to put it upper 90 wide open space for him in that one. He just nails the top corner.
So far, they started off with VJ Foster, who scored. Now it's 2 for Razanka. And a lot of work on the faceoff for the Panthers if they want to move their way back into this one. But Michigan wins it again. Some physicality coming at the hands of Anthony Mills, the sophomore D-pull. The Panthers will have it with Orsino.
One thing I'm wondering about here, Lucas, is you see the Panthers really slowing it down, and that's obviously what you want to do in some senses, but in some ways you also want to be able to get some momentum like you said a few minutes ago, and sometimes just getting on a fast break, getting some space might be the place to do that. So I wonder if the Panthers might try and speed it up and get something going here.
And here's Holden Walker. A high stick for Michigan, but they'll still play on. Reginelli. Far side is Orsino. He'll check inside. Nico Orsino, high-to-low shot, just too high over there, but Champion's on the X to get the ball back.
And how much physicality are we seeing? Every chance the Panthers have in any space, they're just getting hit. They gotta play fast to get away from that.
And here comes the Cadillac. Brody Champion. Standing up against his defending man. It'll be back to Walker. Holden Walker. A high stick, a trip, no flag is thrown. There it is. Flag will be up, a color will remain with possession for the Panthers.
Cadillac
Champion inside, Orsino's there, high-to-low shot, saved by Hathaway. And what was that, a hit stick? Coming at the hands of Robert Lennon for MSU. We'll go down to see what the flag was.
It's hit stick, it's stick check, it's everywhere and anything. The Panthers trying to hit the gas pedal, and they're just getting pushed away, hit away. Panthers got to find some space.
Well, you have to say this physicality was expected. Look at this corn-fed side of Michigan State coming and playing a West Coast team. It's always to be expected, that extra maybe oomph from Midwest teams when they come play on the West. But Chapman now, man-up opportunity, the second of the day. Let's see if they can take advantage of this one with Wardell. Lines up a shot. Here's Roselli. Inside, it's Champion. Ethan Roselli. Here's Wardell. McDonald now. We haven't seen him in the game so far, but he's checked in, and McDonald had it there, but just couldn't pick the cherry off the tree to score, and Hathaway will recover.
We talked about Brody Champion pregame, Lucas, and he's trying to get some space here to get a left-handed shot on the right side, and Michigan State is defending him away from that. They're trying to force him to the right side, trying to force him behind the goal from that right wing, so they're defending him with a purpose so far today.
And here comes the Spartans on the attack, looking to invade the city, as Spartans are known to do. And for now, they'll have the ball and just slow it down. No need to rush with Jake Spencer now to Razanka. So if you're Michigan, do you think this is the right move to just slow the clock down? Obviously, they're not used to playing in temperatures like this, but do you think they're doing the right thing, partner?
I think for the majority of it, yeah, I think they're doing exactly what they need to do. We talked about the first quarter for the Panthers being so key, and they're punishing the Panthers so far here.
Spencer now has a man in front from the X, just couldn't find the hands of VJ Foster. However, Chapman will recover with Tyler Pandis on the ball, and for VJ Foster, well, just wrong place, wrong time, and he's not able to punish the Panthers this time.
No, he's not. And the Panthers going to look to just try and, I think, break a few lines here quickly, see if they get in some space towards net.
And for Chapman, well, they're looking to score. They haven't scored in almost 10 minutes now, partner, so they're looking to maybe put a stamp on this game as we're 2 minutes and 21 seconds in the remaining of this first period here at Wilson Field. If you're just tuning in for this back half action of the first period, Lucas Patton here alongside my partner in crime, Mahal Domingo Anderson. And well, so far it's been back and forth, but for the majority of it, it's been Michigan State as the Panthers are on the attack.
And the Panthers haven't scored less than 4 goals in a first quarter all season so far this year. So having just one on the board with 2 minutes to go, that is definitely a worry that you start to get in your mind.
And on the attack, it's Carvalho to the X. Was McDonald. Here comes the shot from Keegan Sharpum, but just not able to nail that one shut. Panthers almost pick it off on the high ride on offense, and they'll get it with Tate Wardell.
Yeah, Tate Wardell using some athleticism there, the freshman, showing that he can backtrack, he can play both sides of the ball as a midi, and that he does it very well there. And now he'll just slow it down, get the offense going, trying to get a goal back into this game and get this to a 3-2 ball game.
Yeah, well, coming into it, he only had 1 ground ball on the season, but so far, he's been doing excellent going both ways, which isn't a thing you see often, obviously, in lacrosse. You have your O middies, your D middies, then kind of your back and forth midfielders. For now, it'll be Rocco Reginelli, one of the midfielders who can do it all. A spin, low to high shot, but just over the head of Ryan Hathaway, who hasn't had too much to work with in this first period.
Yeah, he hasn't had a lot to do, but I like what Reginelli did there, trying to just take your physicality and out-physical them. They've been so physical, the Spartans so far today, really just been in battle. And as he gets closer, he just puts the hit instead.
Ball inside, here's Champion. Manning up his man, but Hathaway will come and recover. So Hathaway, he's been tremendous, preventing Brody Champion there. And Hathaway, the goaltender, only 1 goal getting by him so far. And well, that's indicative of his save per game ratio, which he leads in the UMLC. Under 30 seconds remain, and a low shot coming from Michigan. Schuart's there to prevent it, though, and here comes the quick and potential final break for the Panthers in this first period.
We saw Hathaway go all the way forward and take a shot there from goal, so Panthers couldn't quite get back on the attack in time, but
here's Walker with the shot, but Hathaway's there again, all the way up the field, and that will be the final play in this first period. Michigan up by 2 against Chapman's 1, and so far it's been the Mason Razanka show for the Spartans.
Mason Razanka showing exactly why he is so good offensively. Just being able to find space, being able to really create his own opportunities and get some goals on the board. Already a brace for him. VJ Foster already a goal as well, so Panthers, not the first quarter you were expecting, not the first quarter you wanted, but if you're Michigan State, this is the recipe to success.
Yeah, well, Mason Razanka and company has been absolutely incredible. As we'll take a look at some of the highlights so far in this game for the Chapman Panthers. Well, they start off a bit slowly. Some physicality from Michigan to be expected, but VJ Foster has been the absolute monster that these Panthers just haven't been able to deal with so far. However, Jack Cutler, he's been working his tail off as well for the Panthers, but so far, Michigan hold a 2-point lead. And what can Joel Callis, the head coach for the Panthers, do to maybe start moving momentum in favor of the Panthers in this one?
Yeah, I'd love to see the Panthers attack with a little bit more speed. The 1 goal that they have from Cutler, it was off a faceoff where they just sort of cut through the middle of the field, found Cutler in some space in front of the net, and were able to create a goal. So how do you get into that space, especially with a team that is so physical in the Spartans? You got to adjust, you got to make changes, and you got to imagine Callis is telling those exact things to his team.
Well, you have to say, on a positive note again for Michigan, take a look at their helmets, partner. Look at that. Absolutely stunning artwork coming from the Spartans from the Midwest. And, well, you got to say they've been dealing with the sun very well, obviously, in East Lansing. Today it's expected to be around 25 degrees in comparison to Chapman's 81. So the boys from the Midwest, they've been holding up pretty well. Would you say, partner?
I would say they've been holding up more than well, Lucas. And you got to imagine the sun might be just giving them a little bit more energy. You don't see the sun all that much this time of year in East Lansing. So getting a little bit of sun, getting some SoCal weather, they seem to be enjoying it, and they're enjoying their play as well.
Yeah, well, first of 3 games here on the West Coast. Tomorrow they'll face off against San Diego State, another SLC team, the school rival for Chapman, so I'm sure Michigan State's going to want to get the sweep on both of them, but for now, it'll be up to Shannon Hanamoto and his defensive front to be able to prevent these Spartans from creating any more opportunities. For now, it'll be Torrey on the face-off for the Panthers, looking to get something quickly. Obviously, the first goal that came from Cutler was because of Torrey and the fact that he got the ball so quickly. Let's see what he can create in this instance. Ball will go back out for the ballet, and this time it's a bit of a scrum, but Chapman appears to recover at the hands of Lucas Losi.
And this is the opportunity. Take with some speed, get forward, get some space.
Here's Losi, lobs it out to the X. Inside is Cutler at around the 25-yard line, just waiting for his offense to get on. Switch up the lines, it's Walker. Here's Ursino.
Panthers playing very purposeful, Lucas, so far in this game offensively. It hasn't really worked to their advantage. We'll see if they can create something.
Holden Walker, the goal scorer from the overtime game, and there's Rocco Reginelli. Up into the sky for the goal scorer from Los Gatos. 3 on the season for him. And now the Panthers within 1 goal of tying it all up in the first 35 seconds of this second period.
And you take a little bit of speed, you find a little space, and Reginelli makes them pay. Beautiful shot from him that you'll see here.
Take a look at that, Barner, right into the far top corner. He knew what he did. No need for a celebration on there. We'll see the replay again earlier from Razanka, the star player from Michigan. They'll need a little bit more of that if they want to maybe kill the momentum for the Panthers. And there you see the bench. This is what we need, the energy coming from Henry Crow, 54 like you saw.
Yeah, any vibes that you can get in this game, get hit in the face a little bit. Now you got to get those vibes, that energy up.
And a bit of a scrum down there in between the Fogos. It was Jack Kishman who got the favor to start for face-offs for the Spartans, and they'll recover. The hands of Anthony Bartone. Turnover, and here come the Panthers with Sherrod distributing.
That's a big one for the Panthers to be able to get going back offensively. You score a goal, and now you get the ball right back, trying to get another goal back on the board and tie this game back up.
And all the way from deep, distributing. Now it'll be Patrick Sabri. Cutler from the far side, he's champion. So Brody champion. We haven't seen too much from him so far, although he was one of our highlighted players, partners. So far, he's had a slow game.
Yeah, they've just been defending him, like I said earlier in the broadcast, with just a purpose, trying to get him into positions he doesn't expect to be, force him to that right-hand shot where he just really doesn't have the space to do so on the right wing.
Here comes Wardell. Knocked the pass off to Cutler. Views up his options. Low shot from Cutler, just not able to get it on the board. Champion's back there, and Michigan will have it.
It's interesting to see Champion, put at the X here early in the second quarter, where usually he's on that side.
Champion shot, just misses the cage again. It'll go out, and Chapman will have it.
And that's the positioning that he likes for a shot. He likes that left-handed shot from the right wing where he's coming back towards, center of the goal, and he's able to fire it across.
So here comes Chapman. Michigan riding them aggressively, but they need to get something on offense as the ball is turned over in favor of the Spartans.
Good backtracking there from Carvalho to push them away from a quick break with a 4-on-3.
So Michigan on the attack. It'll go out of bounds in favor of Chapman.
Some sloppy passes in the attacking end for Michigan State so far in this game. Just not able to connect a few times. That's not what they were going to want to be doing.
Quick break developing for the Panthers, and a lot of work to do as well. However, in the second period, they've been doing better. Now it's Champion. Ursino with the ball, and our very own Lisa Pressler down there with a little bit of information regarding the weather. Lisa, what do you got?
Yeah, thank you, Lucas. I am currently on the sideline, and I am feeling this heat right now down on the field. So players are definitely feeling it as well. And not only are players complaining about it, but they are getting a bit tired because of it. So we're just going to have to see what happens coming up.
Well, the heat may be affecting the Michigan players a bit more. Here's Cutler at the near post, but just hits the cage, and Hathaway, it'll go out in favor for Chapman. And Hathaway's been absolutely tremendous so far in this game, partner.
Yeah, 8 saves already on the day for him. He's really been pushing everything away. The 2 goals the Panthers scored are really difficult to save. We'll see if the Panthers continue trying to go upstairs, which is where both those goals were scored from.
Here's Wardell. To the X is McDonough. Ursino now. Cutting inside, high to low shot from Ursino, and it sneaks past the hands of Hathaway.
Broadcasters curse that time, Lucas. Right as we're talking about it, just couldn't quite get that save on his right side as it bounces off his arm and in.
We'll see it here again with Ursino. Look at that, the signature high to low shot, and then Hathaway was there, but just couldn't get enough to prevent it. And Ursino will jog on back. Old smiles as he ties this game up at 3. So for Ryan Hathaway, maybe some frustrations. He's been so good in this game so far, partner, but it'll be up to the Fogos now to see who gets it. Michigan State goes a bit too early, and Torrey will have it.
Yeah, it's another big one for the Panthers. Now tied 3-3. This is more what you're expecting in a first half from the Panthers. They take some adjustments from the first quarter to the second quarter, playing with a little bit more pace, a little bit more energy, a little bit more physicality, and this is the team that you expect to see.
Here's Brody Bame. Patrick Sabri now. A 1-2 with Bame. Brody Bame to the X. For the Panthers, what they need to do, in my opinion, partner, is just develop a play more before trying to go for a goal, and it appears they're doing that right now. Brody Bame all the way to the X with Champion.
Yeah, with the score at 3-3 now, Lucas, now you feel like you can develop something. Now you feel like you can really just set up your plays.
And here's Champion just waiting for his offensive line to switch in. All the space in the world this time for Brett Enderle, but not able to get it on the first time, but he recovers. Enderle trips up on that one, turns over the ball in favor of Michigan. First play for Enderle, and maybe not the hottest one.
No, not at all. And I like the work, though, backtracking again. That time with Sabri. Panthers just been able to avoid a fast break, being able to just track back, make sure that they're not running straight on goal. And you see the Spartans slowing it down here.
Slowing it down indeed, and if you're Michigan State, you won't mind slowing it down as well, because although it's tied at 3, it feels like they're running with a bit more momentum than the Panthers, especially in these moments when they're just holding on to the ball methodically.
Yeah, absolutely. This reminds you more of the first quarter. They really haven't had an opportunity just to hold on to the ball methodically, like you said, down in the attacking end here in the second quarter.
And here's Rozanka pursuing a hat trick in this first half of lacrosse here from Wilson Field. Let's see if he can get that on this attack from MSU. It'll be Rozanka. Back out to Foster. The duo of death, you could call them. Missed pass from Foster. Rozanka still has it. Slight shot that one, but just past the hands of Foster. Some extracurriculars coming at the hands of Anthony Mills, but no foul called. Michigan will remain with the ball.
And there's the physical battle we talked about. Michigan State really winning the physical battle in the first quarter. The Panthers have punched right back. Anthony Mills with a big hit that time after the shot.
Yeah, so just past the wary hands of Ryan Sugar, who's been relatively good so far. When it comes to the SLC, he's been great, but Anthony Mills there again on defense for the Panthers, but not able to get possession in favor of Chapman. It'll be Rozanka. Here's Spencer. Foster. From the X. Still with it is Jake Spencer. So Michigan just waiting for Chapman to open something up. So far, Panthers defense has been holding strong, but let's say if VJ Foster, the machine of the midfield, can make something happen. A spin and a jump for him, but Foster's there to prevent extracurriculars, and before the shot, turnover will go in favor of the Panthers.
Yeah, good defensive work from the Panthers, just holding their own sort of in the middle of the field, not letting Michigan State get into open areas in front of net.
So running with it, a double team coming in, but Lucas Losi able to keep his cool, and here's Ursino, the former SSDM for the Panthers.
And Losi did well just to duck below the contact there, get out of it, keep possession of the ball. Now the Panthers get a chance to slow it down, get going back forward, get your personnel that you want on the field, the attacking personnel. As you see, Reginelli coming onto the field here, scored a goal in the second quarter for the Panthers already.
Here's Walker to the X, McDonald. All the way inside to Cutler and through the legs of Hathaway into the lead for Jack Cutler, and a brace for him.
Beautiful from Jack Cutler, just cutting it below the legs that time. The Panthers have gone top third of the goal, top third of the goal, top third of the goal. That time they go bottom third of the goal through the legs of the goaltender.
And the first time that the Panthers take the lead in this game, and what a moment to do it. Under 8 minutes remaining in this first half of lacrosse, and well, it had to be you, Jack Cutler. We'll see it here again, partner.
Already a brace on the day for him. He scored the first, now scores the go-ahead in the second quarter. Just beautiful bottom third of the goal, going below the goaltender. just trying to make it uncomfortable.
For the face-off again, Chapman will have it on the recovery. Again is Russell Wilkinson. So last year, he was an honorable mention all-conference LSM, and well, they'll need him now as they're on the defense with Ben Bauman at the X defending Rozanka, their star man.
Well done by Bauman, just to sort of inch him farther away from the goal that time.
With Jake Coffin. Here's Foster. Two seniors going head-to-head with Hanamoto defending. It's Foster inside, slashing shot, but just couldn't get past Ryan Sugart. Thomas Savage not able to get on it, and Michigan will recover, starting in the backfield.
Yeah, good opportunity for them to find a little bit of space for that right-handed shot. Just couldn't quite get it on target. No need for a save from Sugart.
And here's Foster. Here comes the crease jump, up and down, but Foster's there. And Sugart excellently saved this time, not allowing Foster to get the better of him. And a high-to-low jump shot inside the crease, but not able to get past the sophomore's hands.
Yeah, wasn't a need the first time from Sugart, but that time there was definitely the need. He makes the save and sends the Panthers towards the other end of the field.
So for the Panthers, you have the lead, but it's only by one. What do you do to hold on to that lead in this final 6.5 minutes in this period, partner?
Do exactly what you've done here in the second quarter. Play your game. Make sure that you're on the front foot. Whoever's on the front foot feels like they have been able to feel the most comfortable, be the best of themselves, and the Panthers have been their best selves here in the second quarter.
Here's Wardell at the champion. Brody Champion lining up his man, Jimmy Cleveland, defending. Champion, he'll distribute all the way back. No rush as well as Ben Carvalho's got it. That'll be Wardell at the 30. Wardell checks inside, a spin to the outside. And he has some high pressure coming. Michigan, they know that he's the star man. As a hit comes in from the back, no foul played. Carvalho inside. And Keegan Sharpuma's there for the Panthers, but too much physicality from Michigan. They still have it, and a sneak shot, but just couldn't get past Ryan Hathaway. And well, some great reflexes from the MSU goalie.
Yeah, an impressive save that time. That shot, you feel like it came out of nowhere. Just a ball on the ground, picks up the ground ball, takes the shot, and a great save from Hathaway.
So Hathaway, some excellent reflexes there, but he'll need to do some more work as Champion is on the ball for the Panthers. By himself is Jack Cutler on the near side as he's got it. Checks it inside, double team still with it. Jack Cutler, low shot and just off the cage. And Jack Cutler, he's been really the standout player so far for the Panthers in this one, partner.
Yeah, looking for a hat trick that time. Just couldn't quite get the shot he wanted, going through a few bits of contact.
A bit of a slip and a fall there from the Panthers, but still with it. Some extracurriculars, they'll stop it. Timeout will be called, so now Michigan, they've been on the back foot for the last few moments or so. They'll have a moment to go over what needs to be changed.
Yeah, and I think just we talked about the heat so much here, Lucas, and that heat starts to come into play when you've been playing for so many minutes here continuously. And in the second quarter, we're getting closer to halftime. And Michigan State, they just want to keep it close and keep it as, you know, in reach for them. And with it being at 4-3, that is well within reach. So how do you take a defensive stand against the Panthers offense that has come out flying here in the second quarter, doing more of what you expect from a top-ranked team in the nation?
I'm not sure, partner. You tell me.
Not sure. We'll see what happens here, but they've really just been giving the Panthers more shots. As you can see, just an opportunity for Cutler in front of net. That's never the space that you want to give a shot to anyone. You want to push them towards the sides where it's an uncomfortable shot. That one just way too easy for Cutler.
So for Cutler, a great game so far against Michigan. Already with the brace, but on the other side for Michigan, it'll be Mason Rozanka holding a brace for himself. Cutler matching him exactly stat to stat, equal to the senior star man from San Diego for the Spartans. But so far for the Panthers, you're up by 1 goal, 5 minutes and 9 seconds remaining. How do you prevent this man right here, Mason Rozanka, from scoring more goals?
Well, keep the ball as much as possible. The Panthers feel like they've had possession of the ball really all second quarter. Michigan State hasn't really had an opportunity to set up their offense and get going, which means Rozanka hasn't had an opportunity to get on the ball. That said, when he has been getting on the ball, the Panthers have put pressure on him right away and pushed him away from net.
And those two, like you saw moments ago, VJ Foster and Mason Wazanka, the bringers of doom, death, and destruction against the Panthers, but so far they've held them to only 3 goals in total. High shot from Cutler there. Just a hair off the upright, so maybe in football it would have been 3 points, but in this case, no points and no goals as Cutler's back on the ball from the near side. Cutler inside high to low shot, but couldn't get past Hathaway. So Cutler, he's been putting the pressure on the young goalkeeper for Michigan State, but so far the freshman Ryan Hathaway, he's held up excellently, or the junior, excuse me.
Yeah, Cutler just been on the ball a lot, getting a lot of opportunities.
Inside the goal, it was Reginelli who tried to get past Hathaway, but time will run out and Michigan will have the ball again.
Yeah, Michigan State just going to try and have an opportunity here to set up their game, do what they want to do. You see them put in their personnel on the field, getting this up forward.
And Michigan State, a lot of green to work with down there on the 40-yard line. From the X, here's Ferguson. Plays it out to VJ Foster. So since that quick goal from Foster, we haven't seen too much from him in the last few moments or so as Michigan plays a high ball out to the X. Still running with it. Here's Trevor Jakuc. Inside, high to low shot right into the net of Ryan Shugart. Excellently saved from him. VJ Foster not able to get past the sophomore, and well, you have to give credit where credit's due. In 2 periods of lacrosse, only 3 goals gotten by Ryan Shugart. And you have to say, although he started off a bit shaky, as the games develop, he's been developing as well.
Yeah, 5 saves now on the day for him. He's been able to come into his own, feel a little bit more comfortable, making a good save that time. Good couple saves in a row for him. So Panthers defense as well has prevented those really high opportunity shots, those best shots that really anyone offensively wants. So it works in tandem. The Panthers defense doing better and Shugart doing better as well.
So the Panthers waiting to quickly build something. For now, it'll be inside. Adam McDonald! Welcome to the jungle for Adam McDonald. He puts the Panthers up by 2, and the first of the day for him.
McDonald just creeps in front of goal like a caterpillar and nails that one to become a butterfly.
Well, Adam McDonald, arguably one of the Panthers' most consistent players throughout every single season that he's been here. And well, he shows his worth on that one, and they're up by 2.
Yeah, that's really well done from him. He just comes from behind at the X, gets in front of net, and just picks up the ball, quick shot right on net. Nothing that the goaltender Hathaway can do about that one.
So although Hathaway started this game very quickly, 9 saves for the junior goaltender, and now Chapman's starting to get some separation between the Spartans. So far, Michigan, well, they might need a miracle. No goals so far in this second quarter. And they're looking to build something here at the hands of Trevor Jakuc, the freshman from Newton Square, Pennsylvania. In the game for the Spartans, he's yet to score his first goal, but for now, Tyler Pandis for the Panthers recovers. Some high pressure from Shugart. Flag will be thrown, however. The Chapman bench just chirping up the crowd, raising their hands as the flags were thrown. We'll finish this play to see what the verdict is after that.
That's the energy you want from a bench, Lucas. You want your team to be fired up. You want your team to have energy in a first quarter where it was really quite quiet here at Wilson Field, to say the least. They are now loud and roaring to go.
Yeah, well, if Joel Cal is happy with how his team has approached this second quarter, so far they've been doing excellently. Here's Brett Enderle inside the crease, behind the back. Perfection from the Cadillac man himself, Brody Champion.
Steps on the gas pedal, hits the brakes behind the back. What a finish, Lucas.
Brett Enderle at the right time provided the pass to him. And look at that, around a defender, still able to sneak the ball into the back of the net, and a double-digit lead for the Chapman Panthers and company.
What a finish, Lucas. That is spectacular. Gives the Panthers a 6-3 lead, and a second quarter of dominance continues with a spectacular goal.
Well, so far, Michigan, a lot of work to do in this second period. 4 unanswered goals in favor of the Chapman Panthers. And, well, right there he is, Brett Enderle, the provider. Funny enough, me and Brett have had a few classes together, so on a personal biased note, it's nice to see one of my personal friends get a beautiful assist like that as Michigan are able to win the face-off after some high pressure from the Panthers. Some physicality. Michigan will get the ball, but if you're the Panthers, you won't mind roughing up Michigan State a little bit, especially considering how physical they've been in this game.
Yeah, I think that's actually exactly what the Panthers wanted. You talk about adjustments making from the first to second quarter. You'd imagine that Coach Callis was saying, we need a little bit more physicality. We need a little bit more athleticism, and that's the physicality. Well, it technically isn't legal necessarily. That's what you want. You want your team to be showing up. That's the type of energy that brings more into the crowd, brings more to the bench, and now you just got to take a defensive stand.
And that's one of the big differences between the NCAA and the MCLA is the chirpiness, the physicality that the MCLA invites. We'll see if Michigan State can provide some offense of their own on this drive. From the exits, Foster, who's been very quiet ever since scoring. He's had a few shots, but not able to get past Sugart. And since then, well, he's taken his foot off the pedal a little bit, you could say, partner.
Yeah, you absolutely can say that. Panthers defense just done such a good job here, Lucas, just, you know, swarming like bees.
Oh, what a save from Sugart. Off the stick, into the air, bounces out. Michigan will have it, and, well, although he's only a sophomore, Ryan Sugart has consistently been doing this for the Panthers, currently 4th in SLC for save percentage. He's 6th in the SLC for saves, so if there's someone who you can rely on in goal, it's going to be Ryan Sugart.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Sweet Sugart making some sweet saves out there on the field. Made another one there a few moments ago. Had a great second quarter.
And so far, this Chapman Panthers defense, they've had a wicked time defending. However, Michigan State still trying to get something out of it. Look at that shoulder check, partner. The physicality from the Midwest boys showing true. And there's a big hit into the bench. Will go in favor of Michigan. And, well, Luke Sewell, excuse me, on the brunt end of that one. Only 40 seconds remaining. There's another check, this time coming from Luke Sewell, who got hit moments ago from Michigan. He'll come out. And here comes the classic MCLA chirping his partner.
This is exactly what you want from a lacrosse game, isn't it, Lucas? Just battle after battle, hit after hit, check after check. This is what it's all about at the end of the day.
So for Michigan State, well, need 3 goals to time it. Timeout was called. So Chapman's starting to run all over the Spartans. What can Michigan State do to maybe start turning the tides a bit in this one, partner?
You got to keep possession of the ball. Now, only 29 seconds here in the second quarter, so you don't necessarily have time to go and do that. But those 29 seconds, you do not want Chapman to be attacking in the attacking end with an opportunity to shoot and score. You got to make sure you have possession, you get your shot, and get that ball in front of net instead of behind, instead of on the side. Get in front of net for a shot.
Well, Ryan Hathaway, although he has 9 saves on the game, 6 have gone by him so far in this first half of lacrosse, and he's done an excellent job. If it weren't for him in goal, I mean, who knows what the score could be, partner.
Yeah, absolutely. It does feel as though the Panthers have really run away with the momentum here in the second quarter, and Hathaway has done a great job. 9 saves on the day, but you take away those 9 saves, like you said, the Panthers really would just be running away with this ball game. 6 goals in the first half here now, and the Panthers offense has really started to click here in the second quarter.
Well, the Panthers, I'm sure they'll be moving with some swagger. A double goal lead against the Spartans, who started off dominating this game, but since then, Coach Joel Callis and company have really reared these players up and gotten the energy up and have figured out how to make it work.
Yeah, they absolutely have, and we talk about adjustments going into the second half quite a bit here in the first half. Well, the adjustments from the first to second quarter have been great for the Panthers, and if you're Coach Callis, being able to make adjustments and get your team ready and where they want to be is exactly how you got to feel. You're doing your job, you're doing the right things.
That man right there, the 4-year coach, Joel Callis. Look at the eager look in his eyes. Well, you can't see through the sunglasses. I'm sure you can imagine it. How visceral and meaningful he is. And on the other side for Coach Connor Konis, well, a lot of work to do as well, but Michigan, they started off quick, and here they are again on the attack. It'll be Rozanka, who's chasing a hat trick in this first half of lacrosse. Shots in, but just far off the goal. Michigan will look to recover at the hands of Trevor Jakic.
Imagine Rozanka, Foster, those are the two guys to watch for here. They are the two best players for this offensive team in Michigan State.
Jakic pursuing his first career goal. Lobs it off to his teammate Ferguson inside. Gets drilled by the Panthers, and well, no flag will fly. Here comes Hanamoto on the clear. And Hanamoto, he'll kill this game off. So Chapman will go into this halftime break with a double-digit lead. Shannon Hanamoto and Ryan Shugart have been absolutely excellent in this second period on defense. And what can Michigan do, partner, to maybe get this game a little bit closer?
Yeah, we talked about the physical battle. The Panthers started to punch back with some more physicality. How does Michigan State then bounce back from that? How do you adjust from that? Well, to me, it's attack with some speed. Go with what you got. Use your athleticism now to your advantage, and then maybe bring that physical battle as well back into it. You got to be able to do both ends of the ball. Which one is used more? Kind of depends on the flow of the game.
Well, I'm inclined to agree with you there, partner. As we take a look at the first half highlights, it was Michigan State who started off flying with Mason Rozanka, but since then, you know, they've kind of slowed it down. It was a great start from Michigan and Connor Konis, like you see there, but since then, you know, it started to slow down a little bit for them in favor of the Panthers. Although Rozanka has been absolutely phenomenal for the Spartans, apart from that, it's been pretty much the Chapman Panthers show, especially with Rocco Reginelli there.
Yeah, Reginelli had a great goal there, and the Panthers just start the second half right with that one, and the second quarter was just all them all day. You see it here again.
Ursino just sneaking by Hathaway on this one, who's been very good, but apart from that, not much. And so far, it's been the Jack Cutler show. You have to say he's been predominantly the star player in the back, the behind the back from Brody Champion. It doesn't get much sweeter than that, and the sideline for these Panthers know what they want, and so far, they've been getting exactly that. But with all that said and done, we'll wrap the first half of lacrosse up here for CSPN. We'll be right back here on CSPN. Michigan State with 3 and Chapman University with 6. We welcome you back. Lucas Pan alongside Mahal Domingo Anderson. And down there is Lisa Pressler with head coach Joel Callis. Lisa?
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Coach Callis. Coach, what do you hope to improve on coming in the second half?
I think the biggest thing is ground balls, and our energy and effort, really improved throughout from the first quarter to the second quarter. That was our big thing. So we just stay energetic, keep sharing the ball on offense, keep winning the ground ball war. Our defense is locking down. They're playing great. So just got to get the ball to our offense and we'll be fine.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Back to you guys.
Lisa, thank you so much. And as Coach Joel Callis mentioned there, defense just locking them down. And a lot of that help has come from Ryan Sugar. According to Coach Callis, he's, quote, the ultimate equalizer. And so far, the sophomore goalie's been doing exactly that.
Yeah, that he has. 7 saves on the day for him, has let in just 3 goals, like we said, and a great second quarter, especially from him. So Panthers defense doing everything that they want to do. And as Coach Callis said, it's just about getting into that offensive end and letting that offense operate.
Well, Shannon Hanamoto, as you saw, and Ryan Shugart so far, both of them have been in charge of keeping this defense tight and compact, and so far they've been doing excellently and allowing the arsenal of options on offense to just take over this game. And so far, the offense has been doing very well, and let's see if the young man, Eric Torrey, can get this game started quickly for Chapman, or if it'll be at the hands of Jack Kishman for Michigan State. Both freshmen, both with great careers ahead of them. Let's let the party begin here at Wilson Field. 15 minutes on the clock. Referees will set it. It's up, and away for Michigan State and Chapman Panthers. Bit of a stalemate now for both of the freshmen. Ball pops out, and it'll go in favor of Michigan at the hands of Anthony Bartone.
So Michigan State doing what they did in the first quarter, be able to win the faceoff, get going on your offensive end. This is what they want to be able to do. Be interesting to see what type of adjustments they make from halftime getting into this third quarter to be able to get their offense operating again. We saw Rozanka be good in the first quarter, but didn't really touch the ball in the second quarter. So how do they get the ball back to him is the question that I would ask.
Well, Chapman with double the lead of MSU, and so far Michigan State will start on offense with Rozanka there pursuing a hat trick. Rozanka, he'll take it inside, doesn't have a shot, lays it all the way out to the 35-yard line to his teammate Foster. Already has one high-to-low shot, just bounces over the cage.
A decent opportunity from there. You see the Panthers defensive unit all sort of piling together against Rozanka as soon as he comes out from behind the X. Coming out in front, they pile up and push him away.
And Michigan State still on the attack. This Chapman defense so far has been holding out absolutely incredibly. And you take a look at there, Luke Sewell doing excellently. That's SDM, part of that Concordia transfer package. Here's Michigan State right into the hands of Ryan Shugart. Sweet as a papaya for Ryan Shugart, his first save of this third period.
And I could say from him, again, we talked about it in the first half, just sort of getting off the schneid, getting that first save. Well, gets the first save of the second half now. Now he feels comfortable, head into the second half, let this defense rock and roll.
And picked off that time excellently by Russell Wilkinson, who's been incredible so far as the LSM for the Panthers. And they'll switch in their offensive line. It'll all start with Orsino and Walker. So Holden Walker, obviously he's the moneymaker for this team. Doesn't show up often, but last game, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, overtime winning goal against Cal Poly on Friday. And Holden looks to spin and create for himself. Cutler for his third, just bounces off the side of the cage and goes out. Michigan will have it.
Panthers had 5 different scores so far today, Lucas. Cutler looking to get a hat trick, but the Panthers have been able to spread out the scoring. Michigan State, only 3 goals, but only 2 scores, and Rozanka has 2. That's sort of been the story of their season. So how do they get someone else involved in this game? I think that's got to be how their offense is going to operate.
Ryan Strout distributed for Michigan State. However, they'll remain on offense. It'll all start at the hands of Rozanka on the X. Hanamoto in goal alongside Shugart looking to defend. It'll be Ferguson. A slow blast all the way out to Jay Caulfield. Here's Caulfield, back to the X, it's Rozanka. All the way to the middle, a hard pass to Foster. Foster spin on the inside, high to low shine all the way up. He got decked as he took this shot. His hydraulics took off as he went into the air, but just wasn't able to get the ball on target, and Rozanka will resume. Here's Rozanka pursuing the hat trick. has senior Hanamoto in front of him, but too much pressure. Here comes Foster. Tyler Pandis defending. Still with him, gets past Pandis, but he's able to get the ball away from him. Ball will be bobble, crease violation against Michigan State. Ryan Sugart appeared to take a hit, but able to stay on his feet. Excellent awareness from the sophomore. He is having a tremendous game in today's affair, partner.
He absolutely is, and he's had a tremendous season really so far, Lucas. He's been so good, only giving up 23 goals so far this year, has 40 saves. That's a 63.5 save percentage so far this season. He's been so good, having another hell of a game here with 7 saves now.
Well, for Ryan Sugart, it's been absolutely incredible, as you mentioned, and the Panthers, well, they won't mind slowing this one down. They've doubled the score of Michigan State, 6-3. And so far, it was all in that second period when the Panthers came to play. It really started to put the pedal to the metal. Cutler not able to hold on to that one, and here comes the quick break from Michigan State. Rozanka could have been the hat trick, but, well, just bobbled out of his hands, and Hanamoto's there to defend. Hanamoto, Rozanka, we've seen this matchup all evening long, partner, and, well, Rozanka, although he has the brace, apart from that, Hanamoto's had his number.
Yeah, it really feels like since the turn to the second quarter, Hanamoto has won that battle with ease. He's been almost man-marking him, it feels like, but you see Rozanka in a different spot out here now, in a little bit of space further out.
From the X, here's Drew Cortese. It'll be Foster, spinning and weaving, can't get inside the crease. Low shot, turned over against Michigan State, and here comes the quick break. Lucas Losi got the ball back. Here comes the physicality, but recovered by Walker. And Skywalker's on a run outside Cutler, but just couldn't get his stick on the ball, and now he'll recover.
Yeah, saw a little bit of a speed attack there from the Panthers. Saw an opportunity to go with a fast break. Couldn't quite guide that pass, Walker, but now they slow it down. Now they get the personnel. Now they try and get going on the offense, operating, and set themselves up.
It'll be Reginelli now with Ursino, both from playing on the offensive midi side of things. Ursino goes down the alley inside to the X with Champion. In the middle was Adam McDonald, but just couldn't find his teammate. It'll go out in favor of Michigan, so a bit of a missed opportunity for Chapman, but still you have to say they've been doing excellently.
Absolutely, and you see them just trying to break in front of the goal, sort of at the top end of the crease. That's the area where the Panthers are trying to succeed, trying to get some space, trying to get a pass in there. McDonald already has a goal from that spot, trying to get another one there, just couldn't quite get it in there.
So for Michigan State side, Hathaway has been doing excellent so far in this third period to not let anything get by him. A lot of pressure as well from the Panthers, but Michigan State, it's their turn to apply some pressure on offense. And at the front of that attack, it's Connor Ferguson. Spin against Ursino, out to the X. Here's Cortese. A quick break from Andrew Connolly, who remained with the ball. Now it's Alex Pierce. A spin, ball tipped out from Luke Sewell. Hanamoto still there. Sewell will come in to support. And Hanamoto kicks this one back. He'll recover. So the senior defender looks to clear after an aggressive Michigan State ride and excellently distributed from the senior defender.
Yeah, beautiful cross-field pass there.
And here comes a quick break. Anthony Mills, a lot of space. Brody Champion now awaits his offense to get on. It's not often you see a player like Anthony Mills all the way up the field and close to the cage like that, but matter of circumstances, and he kept his composure. Chapman will have the ball.
Absolutely, composure from Hanamoto, composure from Mills, the defensive unit for the Panthers. So composed, so good.
Here comes Walker from the X. McDonald, low shot, easy save for Ryan Hathaway. So far, although McDonald's been able to score, he hasn't had too much apart from that. Obviously, Chapman sitting with a comfortable lead. What can he do better to maybe start impacting this game a little bit more as he did in that first half?
Yeah, I think it's just finding the right spaces. Getting in front of net is really the space where he can succeed, and he was able to nearly do it there. Couldn't quite get right to the spot exactly where he wants to be, but getting shots, getting in front of net, instead of just, sitting back there trying to going left to right. You want to be able to move vertically as well as horizontally.
Well, for Adam McDonald, slippery as a caterpillar, you mentioned when you scored his goal, partner. And if you don't mind, I'd like to inquire about that comment. Where'd you get caterpillar from?
Yeah, I talked to Adam McDonald earlier this week, Lucas, and he mentioned that before practice Wednesday, caterpillar on his leg jumped on him from a bush outside of his house. Jumped on him, came with him to practice, and now apparently it's guiding him into the back of the net.
Caterpillar cocooning into a butterfly, like you mentioned on the broadcast, and Adam McDonald has been great. We'll take a look at that last save coming from the hands of Ryan Hathaway. Look at that, it was McDonald was right there, just jumped the crease, low shot right off the knee and just collapsed his body on it. It was dangerous because he had Champion waiting for the rebound. However, some great reflexes from Ryan Hathaway, and although 6 have gone by him, he's still been doing a relatively good job in this one, especially considering the differing factors with the weather.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting to see, you know, when you mentioned the weather, it's going to be interesting to see sort of how that impacts this Michigan State team. And they jumped out in the first quarter with the weather, the sun. It's almost like it gave them energy, but since then it feels like the Panthers have been over-energized in terms of, you look at the Panthers' energy level on the bench, on the field, versus Michigan State, and it's been better from the Panthers.
Well, Mason Rozanka still chasing that beautiful, beautiful hat trick. He's averaging 3.3 goals a game so far this season, and well, just one off of achieving that. So far, he's been a thorn in the back of these Chapman Panthers, but not enough to impact this game to a significant level as the Panthers hold double the lead, 6-3, as Michigan State get us back underway here at Wilson Field.
Yeah, Rozanka just moving around the field. You see him in a different space again here, sort of in front of the net in the center of the space. Hanamoto defending him as always.
Michigan State, well, they haven't scored since the first quarter, and here's Rozanka trying to switch some things up and make me eat my words. Inside, but picked off excellently from Wilkinson, who'll kick that one all the way up the field. And Russ trying to recover it. Ball will bop up and down, go out of bounds, and it'll go in favor of Michigan.
A tough break for the Panthers there. Looked like they might get a fast break, might get going the other way, just couldn't quite corral it, Wilkinson. So Michigan State, they get the ball back here, looking to set up their offense to see if they can open up Rozanka in some space.
So Rozanka and Michigan State, as I mentioned, they really haven't been creating too much since that first period, but in that first period, it was all Michigan State, so what can they do to go back to their dominant ways, partner?
Yeah, it was the Mason Rozanka show. Talk about him, but you also look at how can they spread the scoring. They need different guys to get involved. Devin Cucci has been a guy that really has broken out for them this year. 6 goals, 6 assists. That's a career high in both of those numbers here as a senior. Can he get on the scoreboard here today? Because he hasn't really even had an impact at all in this game, Lucas. I don't think we've said his name once.
Number 22 on Michigan State side, Devin Cucci, 3rd in the UMLC, 4 assists, but with all that being said, still hasn't had as much involvement as we might have anticipated. For now, Michigan will get the game back underway at the hands of Andrew Connolly. Coach Connor Konis, a lot of work to do if they want to bring this game back up to leveling terms. Here comes pump fake, high-low shot. Hanamoto was there to intercept, but Michigan State will have it. Bit of a slip from Andrew Connolly, but he'll remain with possession. Shot from Foster, oh, perfect. VJ Foster, top left corner, and that's exactly what he can do. Brace for the senior.
Beautiful shot, VJ Foster, right-handed, finishes it from far out. Feels like that one was almost from space, Lucas, but he goes up to the top space of the net. Beautiful finish, and that is a different sort of unique piece that we haven't seen from this Michigan State offense, is bringing it farther out and just ripping a shot. That one they rip, that one they make, and they bring it to a 6-4 ball game.
Well, this case, now it'll be Brody Champion's turn to maybe start building to get a goal back for the Chapman Panthers. It'll be Eric Torrey out there, and Kishman going head-to-head on the face-off, but Michigan again wins it. However, Russell Wilkinson was there to recover. Hanamoto now will have it on the clear. So funny story about Shannon Hanamoto. Actually, when over Thanksgiving break last semester, I had the unexpected pleasure of meeting with him when I was when I was visiting Florence, Italy. And by surprise, we both took a pasta making class together. So Shannon Hanamoto, creative on the field, creative in the kitchen, and well, so far he's been proving that excellently. Only 4 goals in 3 periods of lacrosse so far, and now the Chapman Panthers are on the attack with Ben Carvalho with the ball. Carvalho spinning, there's the set by Sharpoom from the X, it's Champion. Here's Jack Cutler, another ball that's bobbled out of his hands, but he's able to recover. Here's Wardell. Tate Wardell spinning inside. Some aggressive defense coming at the hands of Anthony Bartone, Michigan State's star SSDM. They'll still have it, however. Keegan Sharpoom lines up the shot in perfection. 7th of the day, and first for Keegan Sharpoom.
Sharpoom says Shara boom. Hello to the bottom right corner that time. An absolute beauty. He finds some space, gets away from the defenders, and finds the bottom corner, Lucas.
Look at that. Shout out to all our camera crew here on CSBN. A hot day as well, but making it work. And Keegan Sharpoom, I'm sure he'll be grateful we got his goal that cleanly on camera. You see Cooper Warner there, one of the D middies, celebrating on the bench. A lot of these Chapman players happy with the results so far. Brody Bayham there, you saw moments ago, 39, and out there on the face-off, get-off is Eric Torrey, who's in a bit of a scrum with Michigan State, and consistently again, Michigan State appears to recover. Here comes some physicality, and well, there it is, Michigan State again recovering. The Panthers riding high and trying to get the ball away, but to no avail. Big shoulder check from Brody Champion to knock the ball out, and Michigan State are scrambling. Big hit coming from Anthony Mills. Champion trying to swoop him, and here comes a hit from Luke Sewell. That should be a flag, and there it is. 2 flags. That was a pretty clear foul on that one, wasn't it, partner?
I felt like he just uppercut him a little bit, hit the helmet a little bit right in front of the Michigan State bench. They called for it. They got it.
An understandable call from the referees here. For now, Michigan State will take advantage and just wait for that flag to be played later on when the play is dead. Here's Foster pursuing a hat trick. Lobs it out. Jake Huffield. Save from Shugart, easy on that one, and Tyler Pandis will recover. And here comes the man-up play in favor of Michigan State. So if you're Chapman, you can't get sloppy on defense. We've seen it in the past where the Panthers do very well in the first half, but in the second half start to crumble. What can they do to prevent that from happening now, partner?
I think it's at the very simplest, Lucas, just making sure your defense maintains what they are able to do best. And we saw them a little bit, I don't want to say crumble, but see them struggle a little bit in the first quarter. And now they've just really been able to hold their own here in the third quarter. And that's something that they haven't really been able to do all season. Third quarter been a little bit of a struggle for them. So being able to do what they've done has been great. So keep your defense compact and keep Michigan State on the outside.
Well, Michigan State will look to get their 5th goal of the day. It'll be VJ Foster at the X. Inside from the alley, here's Andrew Connolly. Some excellent passing for Michigan State. Shot from Razanka, but Shugart was there and gets leveled. Here comes the flag. Russell Wilkinson went down, and some extracurriculars from the Spartans. That'll lead to a man-up play after the play is dead in favor of the Panthers. Here comes Orsino. A signature run from him. Obviously, in previous years, we've seen Nico Orsino for the Panthers, 17, play more as a defensive midi, but this year he's elected to help out on the offensive side, and well, now he's more of a box-to-box, you could say, partner.
Yeah, absolutely could. Just moving all around the field, being able to do both ends. Talks about him being such a great defender. Well, he's being able to showcase that as well as being a great offensive player. We'll see if he can get on the score sheet here, having himself a good day. Already has 1.
And here comes the Chapman Panthers on the attack with Reginelli. Ducking and weaving, Rocco Reginelli to the X. It's McDonald. Long shots taken, and it sneaks in. Holden Walker, the golden boy, gets one to his name.
A Skywalker snipes the top corner. That one was a homing missile into the top corner, Lucas. What a finish from him.
And Skywalker using the force, you could say, sneaking the ball past the hands of Ryan Hathaway. Bang, right into the sky. And Holden Walker, again, consistent in front of goal. He gets one to his name. And now similar to where we went in the half, Chapman with double the score that Michigan State has, 8-4 with 3 minutes remaining in this third period.
Yeah, and you asked a few minutes ago, what do they got to do to be able to have a good second half? Well, being able to continue scoring is the best way that you can make sure you maintain a lead. And Skywalker right there makes sure the Panthers have their lead.
So Chapman will look to recover on this one. Eric Torrey in there, a bit of a spin and a hit to the helmet, but Lucas Losi able to hold on. Here comes the D-Midi on the attack. Champion will slow it down. So now if you're the Chapman Panthers, no need to rush. You have a very comfortable lead, but at the same time, you don't want to take your foot off the pedal and start slowing things down.
Yeah, you want to make sure any sign of, daylight that Michigan State can see, you want to make sure that that just disappears. And well, middle of the afternoon here, Lucas, a lot of daylight. Any chance that Michigan State feel they can get back into this game, the Panthers want to take that away.
Here's inside, a swim move, high-to-low shot, but just gets past him. This time, that was Keegan Sharpum. We saw an incredible goal from him earlier, but after the swim move in this case, not able to get past Ryan Hathaway.
Not that time, but the Panthers maintain possession. They can just keep operating this offense, maintain possession of the ball as much as they want.
Here comes Brody Champion, the Cadillac player, into the hands of Hathaway, who on the rebound almost sneaked in, but cool, calm, and composed from the junior, and now Michigan State will be on the attack. Bit of a shovel pass on that one. However, Rizanka was there to recover, pursuing a hat trick. Rizanka just too far off to the right of Ryan Shugart. And Chapman will have the ball.
Rizanka got a lot of space there in the middle of the field, couldn't quite find it home, but with it that far out, you got to imagine that Shugart felt good about it.
So here comes on the attack Tate Wardell. Been a little bit quiet since that first period, but started off very strongly. Here's Orsino. Orsino back out to the goal scorer Walker. We'll just wait for his teammates to come on. So a minute and 16 seconds remaining on the clock in this third quarter of action here from Wilson Field, and it's Rocco Reginelli. Orsino rips that shot and just above the cage and out.
Michigan State going to take a chance here to get back forward. They get an opportunity, and who can they find? Who can they get going offensively? Because Rizanka has been silent since we moved to the second quarter, and he just hasn't had any daylight to move in. See if he finds some space here in the third quarter.
Hathaway all the way up, and it bounces into the hands of Drew Cortese, although he's listed as an attacking. He's been playing all over the field on offense, but an excellent break developing for the Panthers. And here they come on the attack. High shot from Holden Walker just off to the left. Panthers will have it with Adam McDonald at the X. So Holden Walker, he's been great, but wasn't able to get past Hathaway on that instance. For Coach Connor Konis, a lot of work to do with not a lot of time remaining, 30 seconds in this third period.
Yeah, we'll see what adjustments he can make from the third to the fourth quarter, Lucas. They'll get an opportunity to talk.
Wardell just stripped of the ball on that instance, and it'll go Michigan State's way with a hair under 19 seconds remaining. So 14 seconds remain in this final period of lacrosse here from Wilson Field. If you're just tuning in for the back end of this game, Lucas Pan alongside Mahal. And Mahal, let's talk. Because so far Chapman's been dominating as the shot goes right into Hathaway's hands to end this third period, but it's been back and forth, but Chapman has been relatively comfortable. They went into the half break up 6-3, and now they go into the period break 4-8. So how can they hold on to that 4-goal lead and not give up any silly mistakes?
Yeah, well, we talked to Callis at halftime, and he talked about ground balls, Lucas, and he mentioned how when the Panthers are able to win their ground balls, they're really hard to beat, and they've been able to win ground balls since we moved into the second quarter. The second and third quarter, they've been able to win ground balls. They've been able to win faceoffs. They've been able to maintain possession of the ball and be able to just take it slow and let their offense do exactly what they want. what you work on in practice, those set plays, that's what their offense has really been able to do here. And if they can maintain doing that, they are going to be sitting pretty, I think, at the end of this ball game.
So for Chapman, obviously up by 4, and a lot of work to be done. And you have to give credit to some of these players who have stood out so far. Holden Walker, he's been great as well, but you have to say, for Michigan State, VJ Foster, he started to pick up the steam. 2 goals for him, alongside Mason Wierzonka. We've been saying his name all day long. He's got 2, and well, on the Chapman side of things, because it is MCLA, if you are interested in donating to the Chapman Panthers side, you can scan this QR code right here in the bottom left corner. Support the team in any way possible. We love putting on their shows, and they love watching our shows after we put them on, so the collaboration with Chapman's Lacrosse, always encouraged.
Absolutely. We'll see a great 4th quarter here and a great day of lacrosse already, Lucas. And you got to imagine, with the physicality we've seen all day, Tate Wardell, he's got to get on the score sheet. It feels like he's been so slippery offensively. If he can just find that little inch of space, can he find the back of the net?
Tate Wardell, one of the hottest things to come out of Wilson Field since that 2016 national champion side. And well, for Michigan State, Jack Kishman on the faceoff. He's been very well so far. He's been doing a great job currently as it stands. Michigan State have won 6 of the faceoffs in comparison to Chapman's 7. Both Kishman and both Torrey, both freshmen. So a lot of future ahead of the careers of both of the young men. In this instance, it's Cody Shevelson who's in for the Panthers. He has that experience, the junior, and he's able to win it on this team. One of the most vocal players that this Chapman side has as well is the face-off man, Cody Shevelson.
Absolutely. You see him come off to the bench there and be just hyping his teammates up. He's happy that the Panthers won that face-off, happy that he could put his imprint on the game that time and let the Panthers be able to just control possession of this ball and of this game.
Here's Brody Champion to start the first attack for the Chapman Panthers. Knocked off, it's Patrick Sabri. So for the Panthers, no rush, obviously. You got the lead, you got a lot of time. Here's Brett Enderly from the near side at the 20. Enderly checks inside, lobs it back out to Sabri. Long shot over the head. Brody Bayham that time, the freshman midfielder, had the shot. Not able to get it through, however, the Panthers will remain with possession coming in from the X. Lobbed all the way up, here's McDonald. Fakes it inside, shot into the face of Hathaway, it was there. And Hathaway will recover. Crease violation and a pretty clear one as well. But a shot from McDonald, not able to hit the back of the net against Hathaway. And McDonald, although he only has 1 to his name, still he's been very consistent. And Ryan Hathaway, a lot of work to be done in this final period if they want to tie it and push it into overtime.
Yeah, and Hathaway's really just been able to hold his own for the most part of this game, Lucas. Has given up 8 goals, has 11 saves, though, and those goals that he's given up feels like there's not much he could do about the large majority of them. It's just about Michigan State, to me, being able to control possession of this ball. They were able to control the game, really, in the first quarter. Since then, Panthers have fully been in control of really every part of this game, every facet, and how can Michigan State try and gain an advantage?
It'll be Ryan Strout. Deep hole for Michigan State getting us started. Ball lobbed back to Hathaway. And, well, Coach Connor Konis, around 13.5 minutes to flip this game on its head. Let's see if his team can do it. All the way to the X. It's Foster. Inside, Cortesi. Chapman's defense standing strong, and that's one of the big differences in this game, is that Chapman's defense has been a lot cleaner at just posting up and preventing anything from happening.
They really have just been able just to sort of sit defensively and push them outside. It's been like a bubble that Michigan State hasn't been able to pop.
From the X, here comes Foster. If there's someone who you don't want lurking behind your cage, it's VJ Foster. Foster inside, rips that shot, and Sugar comes up with a huge save. Oh my goodness.
What a save by Shugart. Oh my goodness, just falling to his right side, putting the net to it, everything that he's got to do. Sweet Sugar doing everything that he has to do for this Panthers team. 9 saves on the day for him, and he's had another great game just to add to a great season.
Well, Ryan Sugar, you know, an excellent save, and coming into this game, he was one of the standout players for Chapman University. In the opening week of Chapman's schedule, he was the Pearl Goalkeeper of the Week, and, well, in that first opening week against Cal and Northeastern, he only allowed 3 goals to get by him in the first period. And so far, he's been doing excellently as well. A bit of a missed hit from Drew Cortese on that one. It'll go Chapman's way after the turnover with Nico Orsino at the forefront.
There's a lot of errant passes from the Spartans team, Lucas. They haven't really been able to get between each other offensively. It's been sloppy.
Some aggressive defending from Michigan State. Flags will fly in, and Chapman will have a man-up opportunity once the play is dead. Here comes Holden Walker. So Holden Walker, he won't mind killing this game off. He has a goal today, as we saw a couple moments ago. That third period, he's been excellent. Nico Orsino on offense hasn't had much, but he's been helping out on defense, and he might make me eat my words. Nico Orsino, first of the day, up into the sky. And Nico Orsino, the second of the day for him. Another Chapman Panther, another brace, and well, it had to be him.
It had to be. We talked about him all game, being able to do both sides of the ball. And right as you're talking about him being so great defensively, commentators' curse comes in clutch, and he nails that one on the near post.
If you're Ryan Hathaway, maybe some frustrations letting a ball go by on the near post. Up into the sky with Adam McDonald, one of the players that he's been a teammate with for all his college career, or the majority of it. And now nothing Hathaway could have done on that one. Face-off will be set. Shevelson facing off against Kishman. Trips will come in. It'll go Michigan's way. So Chapman Panthers 1 goal away from the double-digit mark. And Michigan State, well, they've been kind of stuck with 4 goals.
Yeah, they have, and the Panthers have just been able to stretch that lead, it feels like, further and further and further in the second half, whereas Michigan State just hasn't had an answer offensively, really, since we turned to the second quarter.
And Michigan State with Razanka. Razanka into the hands of Ryan Sugar. Well, he's been applying the pressure in an attempt to get that hat trick, but Ryan Sugar, he's been there this entire game, and excellent stuff from the sophomore. And here comes the attack with Colin Sproul on offense. Now it'll be McDonald. Spins and weaves. Out of his hand is the stick, but referees will stop it. And Adam McDonald appears to be down. Not a sight you want to see, and some concern from this Chapman bench. Earlier in the warm-ups, we saw him take a pretty nasty hit to his left wrist, and for Tate Wardell and company, you do not want a player like Adam McDonald to go down. Some concerns from head coach Joel Callis.
Yeah, concerns all over. See both teams on a knee. You never want to see an injury of any sort of magnitude. So just hoping that McDonald's okay.
Well, Adam McDonald able to walk off on his own accord, and you hate to see a player like that go out. Some clear concerns from Jack Cutler and some of his teammates, but just heartbreaking to see a player of his magnitude come off, especially at this stage of the game, considering the score.
Yeah, absolutely right. Felt like he was starting to come into his own this season, too. You hope he'll be okay. Obviously, Panthers with a good lead here, so can't be too worried about the game itself, but your thoughts go out to Adam McDonald, who has been a key piece and is a key leader, especially as an upperclassman here for this Panthers team. So could be a big miss for them. They're going to look to be able to fill that void.
Well, from one upperclassman to the other, it'll be up to Shannon Hanamoto now to maybe rally his team and help them be unshaken after that one. And Jack Cutler, it's his opportunity to step up on offense and execute. But for now, Michigan will have the ball as they look to build something on offense. 11 minutes and around 8 seconds remaining in this final period here from Wilson Field. And Michigan State on the attack with Devin Cucci now in the game. To the X, it's Foster. A hard ball into Rozanka, but just couldn't get across it. No offsides will be called. So some excellent footwork from Ryan Strout. And here's Rozanka against Hanamoto. The matchup we've seen all day long. Here's Foster. Tyler Pandis defending. And Tyler Pandis' head of the stick comes off. But lucky for him, Ryan Sugart's there to recover and slow it down.
Stick gets decapitated that time, Lucas, but Panthers' defensive stand really just all game. It's felt like they have been taking away any opportunity that Michigan State has had to get back into this game.
Yeah, well, that's indicative of how physical Michigan State's been. There's no denying that. However, Chapman, they've picked out the right times to shoot. And as we have 10 minutes and around 5 seconds remaining on the clock, Chapman will look to just kill this game off with Orsino, but Michigan State there to recover at the hands of Robert Lennon. Orsino dropping all the way back on defense. And here he comes on offense with Ben Carvalho. Spin moves him excellently. It'll be Russell Wilkinson now. Another spin move, however, this time Popcorn Lacrosse down there, and Ben Carvalho in an attempt to recover hits the deck. Michigan State will have it at the hands of Trevor Yakuc. Inside, VJ Foster diving and nails it shut. A flying effort from Foster, and that's the hat trick.
Hat trick for him as he pulls off a Robin Van Persie nearly there. Feeling like 2014 World Cup, just sliding into the top corner. It's been all Foster, all Rozanka all day for this Michigan State offense.
Well, Foster, look at this. We'll see it here again. Past the senior Hanamoto, then just face first into the turf, but was able to get his stick up and down to get past the wary hands of Ryan Shugart. Michigan State now with 5 and Chapman 9. Stoicism. Stoic from Connor Konis. He knows how much work he has to do, but a great start and still a lot of time for Michigan State. Jack Cutler inside. Rocco Reginelli is denied. From Ryan Hathaway, the ball still in there. Reginelli trying to get something off as the ball is tipped above the cage. And Michigan State, a great effort from Ryan Hathaway to get back there and get his stick to get the ball in favor of the Spartans. And now a moment to breathe for them after Rocco Reginelli applied all that pressure.
Yeah, it felt like Reginelli was definitely going to score there. Had a ton of space one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Just not able to get it. Big stand there for the Spartans.
Here comes Devin Cucci. We haven't seen essentially anything from him. But now the senior will check in and start playing.
Yeah, physical presence that he could bring there in the middle of the Spartans offense. We'll see if he can make an impact. Like you said, we haven't said his name really at all today.
The Spartans driving. Just holds up as Alec Pierce. Pierce has Foster in the X. He'll flip it, sets the screen. It's still Pierce. Inside, shot just above the cage was Trevor Yakuc pursuing his first goal, but the Spartans will still have it with Foster pursuing his fourth. Fakes the shot, inside spin from Pierce. Still with the ball. Now it'll be Foster. Michigan State, well, they're getting comfortable, but only 10 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Low shot! Not able to get past Ryan Shugart. Trevor Yakuc attempted to get his first, but Ryan Shugart denied him again. And he's been flying in this game, the sophomore goaltender. And here comes Anthony Mills on defense inside a champion. Just couldn't get it, but Rocco Reginelli's there at the X. Here's Luke Sewell. Typically a D-midi, now he's on offense. Reginelli Champion at the 25. He'll drop it back and wait for his offensive line to get in. So for Chapman, around 7 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in this final period. What do you do to hold on? On defense, they've been very solid so far, but what do they need to do to just not give up any sloppy goals like they have in the past?
Just make sure you stay contained. And, you know, they've defensively been able just to sort of hold as like a unit in the middle of, in front of the goal. And there's just been no penetration from the Spartans. So how do you continue to be able to do that? Well, continue doing exactly what you're doing. Just be compact and buzz like a group of bees. Not able to have anything get anywhere.
From the X, inside is Yakuc in an attempt to get his first goal. To the X was Rozanka, low shot, and Schugart's there again.
13 saves for Schugart now, as he's had another great game. This feels like one of his better ones all season so far. 13 saves, only giving up 5 goals.
Here comes a double team against Tate Wardell. Rocco Reginelli in an attempt to recover, can't get it at the hands of Jimmy Cleveland, the deep hole for Michigan State. Cleveland will have it at the 20.
You wonder, Lucas, at what point does this Michigan State team start to get a little bit antsy, start to feel the pressure of the clock starting to tick down?
Some extra physicality. No one knows where it is, but Cleveland will get it. And after the foul, Chapman will have possession deep in enemy territory with Holden Walker. Connor Konis knows what he needs to do. Rocco Reginelli off the cage and almost went in. A quick break developing, and here comes Michigan State. Rozanka pursuing the hat trick. He gets it! Mason Rozanka, second Spartan with a hat trick. And Michigan State slowly but surely crawling their way back into this one.
Crawling the way back is right, but 6 goals and all 6 of them are from 2 guys. It's been the double hat trick show from Rozanka and Foster today. Those two having themselves good games, especially offensively. But if they want to come back into this game, Lucas, they got to get goals from someone else. They got to get a third guy up and operating.
To Ryan Schugart, in this instance, wasn't able to prevent Rozanka, although throughout this game he's been doing excellently. Face-off is set. The cosmic ballet between both teams. Violation, and Michigan State will have it. They've been dominant on the face-off so far in this game. Although they haven't been creating too much from it, they've still been statistically helping their team out on face-offs as they're developing their attack.
That they have. Just the errant passes offensively has really shut down a lot of these offensive opportunities. You see them setting up here. We'll see if they can be able to get some momentum here offensively and be able to just play their game, do exactly what they want to be able to do.
Here's Jay Caulfield. Caulfield spins inside, lobs it back out to his teammate, Devin Cucci. Back to Caulfield. Caulfield inside, spins. Chapman defense just waiting patiently. Shot just above the cage and out from Andrew Connolly. Lisa Pressler with a hit for us. Lisa, what do you got?
Yeah, guys, I'm here with an injury update on number 33, Adam McDonald. He is currently on the sideline right now and is on crutches. It seems to be his right knee, and they did put ice on it, but no further information as of right now.
Well, thank you so much. And a quick break developing, but Hathaway with an incredible save. Although McDonald is not in the game for the Panthers, they're still driving on offense and almost got the 10th on that one.
Yeah, Panthers just trying to punch back after giving up a goal to the Spartans. Every time it feels like the Spartans score, the Panthers feel like they score 2, 3. Not only matching, but exceeding.
Here's Ursino. Champion at the X, it's Carvalho. Ben Carvalho back out to the X, it's Champion. Ball played, Holden Walker comes in to help out. Holden Walker trying to get it. Champion will recover. Champion runs down the alley by himself. Jack Cutler for the hat trick, but just off to the right and out. So Jack Cutler, he's been a bit quiet towards the end of this game, but there's still no denying how much support he's had as there's a broken deep pull down there on the field. Orsino will recover. Orsino, ball just tipped. It'll roll all the way across to Hanamoto. Missed ball from that one, and a bit of a rookie mistake from the senior. Michigan State will have the ball deep in enemy territory with Tyler Pandis defending. It'll be Rozanka. Him and Foster, both with hat tricks. All the goals for Michigan State developing from the two seniors. And they'll look to mix it up in this final 3.5 minutes remaining in this fourth and final period here at Wilson Field. Shot right into the basket of Ryan Sugar. One thing that he's been doing great, Sugar, is just his composure in the net. A lot of times, especially with these younger goalies, he'll get a bit frazzled when a shot comes at him, but for the Pearl goalkeeper of the week and goal for the Panthers, he's been excellent so far.
Absolutely, the sophomore has been dubbed to be a bigger leader for this team here in his second year with the Panthers. Feels like he has been able to do that and more, not only on the field, but off the field as well. It's got to be key, especially for a goalkeeper who really is the leader of that defensive unit, Lucas.
One of the special things about goalies, they're the only ones who see the entire pitch. So, Brody Champion, high to low shot, Hathaway's right there to prevent him. So Hathaway, he's been excellent as well. Obviously, Hathaway's a junior and Sugar's a sophomore, but both of them have been playing excellently, although 9 have gotten by Hathaway. Here's a spin from Foster. Rozanka pursuing his 4th. It'll be Cortesi. Inside, Foster with the shot, and Sugar's there to prevent again. So it seems like we're a broken record now, partner, because it'll either be Foster or Rozanka who gets the ball, they'll shoot it, and Sugar has been there for the last period or so. So far, he's having an excellent game. Champion with the bullet! Head tap, double-digit goals for the Panthers, and Brody Champion, an excellent finish at the near post.
It's a brace for Brody Champion. He has another goal. He finds the space finally on the right wing, and he does exactly what he wants to do to get his brace.
Brody Champion, like you mentioned, although he's new here, he's the brand new shiny toy for these Panthers. And take a look at this bullet to the far right corner. Brody Champion, there's no preventing him. And for the Chapman Panthers and company and Joel Callis, although there's 1 minute and 43 seconds remaining, a pretty big lead that they have in this final period.
Yeah, 4-goal lead, and they feel so comfortable and confident. The 4-goal lead feels like it's even bigger with how good their defensive unit is playing, Lucas. It feels like, well, Rozanka, Foster, they both have a hat trick. They both have been good offensively. It feels like those are the only 2 pieces that Michigan State have, and when you don't have a third guy, you don't have a big 3, it makes it really difficult to spread the ball around to 3 different areas of the field, and it's just been one area of the field, one shot, and Sugar has been up to the task every time, it feels like.
Yeah, well, Ryan Sugar, excellent at preventing these Michigan State Spartans, and you have to say Ryan Hathaway in goal for the Spartans, he's been doing excellent as well, only 10 past him, but a recurring thing for these Panthers. In every game that they've played, they've scored over 10. As now we see, for the first time this season, coming in as Jack Duffy, the senior from Napa, signaturely known for his bagpipes that he plays at the beginning of every game. His younger brother, Oliver Duffy, a deep pull for the Panthers, also on the team. So Jack Duffy now checking in for the first time. Only a 4-goal lead, so hopefully it won't come back to bite the Panthers in the behind as this game progresses, but here's Ryan Beach, who got subbed in on the face-off. Some tossing and tumbling. Beach will recover, gets knocked in the back, and there's the flag. A pretty clear one as well, partner, just a shove in the back, and you can't do that.
Yeah, don't think you can do that one. Shoved in the back, pushed out of bounds. Panthers gonna get the ball here, and just able to control their game, do what they want to do. Mason Rozanka takes a seat here for the Spartans. He'll come off the field, helmet off as well. And it feels like this one is game, set, match to me, Lucas.
Well, 1.5 minutes remaining for these Chapman Panthers to kill it off, and it'll feel good to win at home. Obviously, on Friday, they won away from home at Cal Poly. Before that, they lost by a slim margin to TCU 11-10. You were in the commentator's booth from that one, Mahal. What did you see in that game that's been different from this game?
Well, it was the second half in that game that really came back to bite the Panthers. They had a really rough second half where TCU dominated. Heads went down for the Panthers in that one, and it just wasn't there in the second half. For the Panthers, they were able to keep their heads high through the first quarter when they struggled uncharacteristically through that time. Kept their heads up, they came back, energy got up, and they were rocking and rolling from that point on.
Originelli now. Here's Ben Carvalho. Outside is Ethan Rosselli. Michigan State on the break, so under a minute remaining in this final period of lacrosse. And Michigan State, well, they need 4 if they want to tie it into overtime. Foster with the shot. It was Andrew Connolly who tried to get his name on the score sheet, but to no avail. And so far, although he hasn't scored, Andrew Connolly's been that third player that they've been attempting to find on offense.
Yeah, he's been the other guy that's been able to get a few shots on. He just hasn't been able to do much outside of that, hasn't been able to hit any of the shots, and the Panthers defense has done a good job of shutting down the 2 guys that can shoot for the most part.
This time it was Jake Spencer who tried to hide a low bounce shot, but just not able to get past the weary hands of Jack Duffy in the cage. And stripped away by Tyler Pandis. Ripping it off of Devin Cucci's stick. There's the bench for Chapman reacting. Only 13 seconds remain. And misplaced ball, Chapman will have it, and that appears to be the dagger in this one.
It appears to be the dagger indeed, as the Panthers, they're gonna move another win closer in their season to matching last season's total, like you said in the pre-show, Lucas, and they've been very good at home. Feels like they should be undefeated here at Wilson Field.
Well, last time they played here, it was TCU who won, but this time the Chapman Panthers again put up 10 and win in a competitive physical battle against Michigan State. Chapman 10, Michigan State 6. And you have to say, partner, I mean, it was an absolute awesome display from these Panthers, but you got to give credit where credit's due. Michigan State gave them a run from the physicality standpoint.
Physicality standpoint was all there for Michigan State. They had a good day, they had a good game, especially in the first quarter. They just ultimately weren't up to the task. They didn't have the depth that was needed, especially in the hot weather that we're having here this weekend in Orange. They didn't have the depth to be able to match the Panthers, who had a fantastic day offensively.
Well, you have to give a lot of credit to some of these Chapman Panthers. I mean, you take a look on the offensive front, Nico Orsino, a brace. You take a look at Brody Champion, a brace. They also distributed who scored, like Holden Walker, very well done. As we take a look at the full game highlights, it was all Michigan State to start this game off, and the hat-trick man, Mason Razanka, was here all day long.
Upset watch in the first quarter, Lucas. They were coming out firing. Razanka, Foster started off this game right.
Apart from that, Jack Cutler in that first half of lacrosse really put his name on this game. And, well, from then on, Chapman just started to methodically build their offense and just secure the lead that they had. But you can't write off VJ Foster. He was absolutely excellent. 3 for him and 3 for Razanka. That was the offense for Michigan State. But Holden Walker, the overtime goal winner, got 1 for himself as well. So you have to give a lot of credit to these Panthers. They distributed the goal scorers excellently.
Yeah, spreading the scoring is a key piece of this Panthers offense. They have multiple attackers, multiple middies that can get on the score sheet, that can do damage, whereas Michigan State, they had their 2 guys that did damage, and that was all they had.
Yeah, well, both teams played very excellently. You have to give credit where credit's due. Chapman, in that fourth period, finally, something that they haven't been able to do very well, were able to just hold on and hold that lead. How do you think they did it, partner?
Yeah, I think it's just the defensive team doing exactly what they want to do in Calais. You talk about adjustments that they can make. Adjustments from the first to second quarter were excellent. And as Michigan State looked to make adjustments to fight back against what the Panthers were doing momentum-wise, there was nothing there. Calais had answers for everything that they were using.
Lisa Pressler down there with star goalkeeper Ryan Shugart. Lisa?
Like that.
It's an easy question. All right, guys, I'm here with our MVP, number 23, Ryan Shugart. Ryan, what was your strategy as a goalie for today's game?
just don't think about the shots and just see the ball, save the ball, stick to the fundamentals, and yeah, it worked out pretty well. So just let the boys play.
Awesome. And what do you think contributed most to the team's success today?
I think our confidence, we came out a little sluggish, but we were firing, and settled in, and, they couldn't hang, so we made it count.
And it was a really hot day today, so how did you, overcome that?
Halftime we went in the weight room. That was a big help, and just lots and lots of water. So we stayed hydrated, and just don't think about the heat. It's not that big a deal. So we got it done.
Yeah. And lastly, guys, how do we feel about taking this win today?
We always love a good dub. Yeah, let's go.
Hey, we earned that one. They're tough.
A lot of jive here on the Sunday.
Sending them back to East Lansing.
So gotta go out there, crack some skulls,
Yeah, we cracked some skulls today. Yeah, we did. Yeah,
Awesome. Love it, guys. Congrats on the win. Thank you so much. Yeah.
There you go. Chat back.
All right, guys. Sending it back to you in the booth.
Well, that's the signature Chapman MCLA chirpiness from those players down there, Anthony Mills. But you have to give all the credit to this man right here, Ryan Shugart. He was absolutely flying in this game. Although they had an All-American with VJ Foster, although they had an incredible goal scorer with Mason Rozanka, the sophomore was there all day long. So an excellent game from him, and you got to take your hat off to the goalie.
You absolutely do. Take your hat off to the goalie indeed, and he's such a key piece of what this Chapman team want to do. When he is playing his best, this Chapman team is really, really difficult to beat.
Well, for Ryan Shugart and company, an absolutely incredible win. And just some final notes from us. Partner, what do you think the Panthers need to keep on doing throughout this season if they want to keep the ball moving? 4 wins now, 1 away from tying last year's.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at what they're able to do with maintaining possession of the ball. When they are able to operate their offense and take it slow and be patient, that's when they're at their very best. So this Panthers offense high flying, and the second half was much better today.
Yeah, well, you have to give a lot of credit to the Panthers, but for now, we'll say so long from Wilson Field. For our producer, Nico Schwegler, for our excellent director, Alex Dorr, I'm Lucas Pan alongside Mahal Domingo Anderson and Lisa Pressler down there on the sideline saying so long from Orange, California, where the final score is Chapman 10, Michigan State Spartans 6. And what a game it was as well. Holden Walker and company absolutely stargazing. They were beautiful in this game. We'll say so long for now, and we'll see you next week, everybody. Have a good Sunday.